Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2022-2023, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, India's G20 presidency, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. Today, we are commemorating World Food Day. The theme for World Food Day 2023, water is life, water is food, leave no one behind. Water is essential life on earth, covers the majority of the earth's surface, makes up over 50% of our bodies, produces our food and supports livelihood. But this precious resource is not infinite, and we need to stop taking it for granted. What we eat and how that food is produced all affect water. Together, we can take water action for food and be the change. The Global World Food Days ceremony is taking place on Monday, that is today, and this time the third edition of Junior World Food Day is also celebrated on 19th October. This fun-filled event will feature stories, music, art, dance, and special guests. Around 74% of all disasters from 2001 to 2018 were water-related, causing almost $700 billion in economic damage. Since 2000, flood-related disasters have increased 134%, and the number and duration of droughts increased by 29%. Wetlands, mostly the most biologically diverse of all ecosystems, are disappearing 3 times faster than forests, and 85% have lost over the past 300 years. Limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees compared to 2 degrees Celsius will benefit the water resources and reduce water stress induced by the climate change. Around 600 million people depend at least partially on aquatic food systems for survival. Almost 1 billion tons of food, 17% of the food available to the consumers worldwide, is thrown away each year, resulting in the waste of precious resources such as water that were used to produce it. 95% of our food is produced on land, and all begins with soil and water. Agriculture accounts for 72% of global freshwater withdrawals, while 16% is used by industries and 12% by municipalities for households and services. Currently, 2.4 billion people live with water-stressed countries, and approximately 10% of the global population live in countries with high and critical water stress. Global water demand for agriculture is expected to increase by 35% by 2050. Over 80% of the world's wastewater is released to the environment without being treated. So World Food Day is your day. Collective action across 150 countries worldwide in up to 50 languages is what makes the World Food Day one of the most celebrated days of the UN calendar. Hundreds of events and outreach activities bring together governments, municipalities, business, CSOs, the media, the public, even youth. They promote worldwide awareness of hunger and promote action for the future of food, people, and the planet. Together, we can create a better, more sustainable food future for all. Make World Food Day your day. Join by organizing an event or activity, or show how you are taking action. Like this, one of the events. Government, private sector, farmers, academia, civil society, and individuals need to work together to address global water challenges. We need to produce more and other essential agricultural commodities with less water, while ensuring water is distributed equally. Our aquatic plants, food systems are preserved, and nobody is left behind. Together, we can be the change. Water is essential to life on Earth, makes up of over 50% of our bodies and covers about 71% of the Earth's surface. Only 2.5% of water is fresh, suitable for drinking, agriculture, and most industrial uses. Water is the driving force for people, economies, and nature, and the foundation of our food. Indeed, agriculture accounts for 72% of global freshwater withdrawals. But like any Water is essential to life on earth. It makes over 50% of our bodies and covers about 71% of the earth's surface. Only 2.5% of water is fresh, suitable for drinking, agriculture, and most industrial uses. Water is driving force for people, economies, and nature, and the foundation of our food. Indeed, agriculture accounts for 72% of global freshwater withdrawals, but like all natural resources, fresh water is not infinite. And as on day, we don't even have 1.5% of water left on the planet, fresh water. Rapid population growth, urbanization, economic development, and climate change are pulling the planet's water resources under increasing stress. At the same time, fresh water resources today, 2.4 billion people live in water-stressed countries. Many are smallholder farmers who are already struggling to meet their daily needs, particularly women, indigenous peoples, migrants, and refugees. Competition for this priceless resource is increasing as water scarcity becomes an ever-increasing cause of conflict. Almost 800 million people who depend at least partially on aquatic food systems. It's time to start managing water wisely. We need to produce more food and other agricultural commodities with less water. While ensuring water is distributed equally, our aquatic food systems are preserved and nobody is left behind. Governments need to design science and evidence-based policies that capitalize on data, innovation, and cross-sectoral coordination to better plan and manage water. They need to we need to produce more food and other essential agricultural commodities with less water, while ensuring water is distributed equally. Our aquatic food systems are preserved and nobody is left behind. Government need to design space and evidence-based policies that capitalize on data, innovation, and cross-sectoral. They need support these policy with increased investment legislation, technologies, and capacity development while incentivizing farmers and the private sector to engage in integrated solutions for a sufficient use of water for its conservation. So we all need to stop taking water for granted, and start improving the way we use it in our daily lives, what we eat, and how that food is produced, all affect water. We can make a difference by choosing local seasons and fresh fruits, wasting less of one by reducing food wastage, and finding safe ways to reuse it while prevents water pollution. Together, we can take water action for the future of food, people, and the planet. Water covers 71% of our planet's surface. From oceans to lakes, rivers, mountains, and water bodies are home to tourism ecosystems, hosting important habitats and a surprising wealth of biodiversity. Over 600 million people depend on aquatic food systems for their living, including small scale fishers, fish farmers, fish processors, as well as their dependents. They are the backbone of coastal and behind. Currently, we export almost 3,000 species in captured fisheries, and we cultivate over 650 of these species. The diversity of aquatic food systems makes them a unique and essential source of nutrition and food security. Aquatic foods are increasingly recognized by and water is life nourishing humanity from the ancient past to the future. Water is a finite but is an infinitely valuable material resource. Without it, there would be no food, no life. Centuries ago, the investment or the inventive nature of humankind spurred farmers to discover ways to irrigate crops, giving birth to agriculture and sedimentary communities. Centuries ago, the inventive nature of humankind spurred farmers to discover ways to irrigate crops, giving birth to agriculture and sustainable countries. And it's So centuries ago, the inventive nature of humankind spurred farmers to discover ways to irrigate crops, giving birth to agriculture and sedentary communities. It revolutionized how people produced food and gave rise to different civilizations around the world. It was not by chance that is first civilization. It is this revolution how people produce food and gave rise to different civilizations around the world. It was not by chance that the first civilization in Mesopotamia and Egypt flourished around the precious resource developing from Tigris and Euphrates, rivers that nurtured Sumerian, Assyrian, and Babylonian kingdoms. The Nile that fostered the kingdom of Egypt to the Indus, blue and yellow rivers of India and China, the cradles of civilization may be much more better. Today, irrigation may not seem exciting, but centuries ago, this method was one of the major inventions that transformed agriculture energy into areas where the chemical conditions are harsh and rainfall was rare. An ancient Greek and Chinese records there that is evidence of another calm There are few pieces on earth where water is more accessible in adequate amounts to meet the needs of the people. The annual absence or scarcity of water has marked the Balwis country. There are several water concerns that we globally face, and such a water shortage, water pollution, and uneven distribution of water resources. To address today's water challenges, we must ensure that effective water area usage in any food systems. There are several water concerns that we as a global community face, each as air shortage and water pollution and an uneven distribution of water resources. To address water challenges, we must ensure that effective and water usually to address today's water challenges, we must ensure effective water usage in agri-food systems, find safe ways to reuse water, safeguard our water and aquatic food systems, and provide affordable, nutritious food for everyone in the face of climate change and increasing demand. Each challenge is connected and we must face them together. New solutions to water shortage and security must be found through cities and innovation while also harnessing traditional knowledge. Partnerships and cooperation are also vital to guarantee success and also access to safe water and by extension, food safety. Everyone has a role to play. Water connects us. It's our shared history, present, and future.
Fresh and over 2 billion are water stressed due to climate change and urbanization and rapid growth of the world's population.
Planea el mañana por los hijos y las hijas, más que solo cuerpos, agua en nuestras venas. No tiene nuestra identidad, ¿por qué tratarla con enemistad?
خليك ناصح واكلك اختار، ركز على الفاكهه وموسم الخضار، اكلك يبقى طازه من غير ما تحتار، وفر ميه اكتر من المصنع الحار.
CP, prospérité, l'accès à l'eau est une nécessité. L'eau c'est la vie, il faut la protéger, alors ne laissez personne de côté.
Make it flow, protect our H2O. Do it as a way
海都需要保护。跳入制酒精，拒绝污染，节约用水是必要的觉悟。
Cambia la storia, porta avanti un sogno, diventa il leader di chi ti sta intorno. Dillo a tutto il mondo qual è la tua missione, parla alle persone, prendi una decisione.
Итак, снизим отходы, ведь воду не жалея берут у природы. А дождь соберем все до капли, учтем, закроем краны, больше сбережем.
A escassez não pode nos dominar, distribuição justa é que temos que buscar. Faça acesso para o mundo prosperar, não deixa ninguém para trás, igualdade alcançar. Make it flow, project the H2O, do it, that's the way to go. Every drop is a heartbeat, let's rain down.
L'eau nous nourrit, l'eau c'est la vie. Tout ne le sait, personne n'est côté, gardons la vie.
مية هي الأكل،
l'acqua è vita.
هي الحياة. وفر كل نقطة خلي في قلوبنا مصر باقي الناس.
Show me the answer.
المية الحياة
非常的宝贵，千人每滴水保证没人会掉队。L'acqua ci nutre,
Water is life.
l'acqua è vita, salva ogni goccia, per nessuno è infinita.
Our planet may be called Earth, but its surface is made up mostly of water. Water flows within us and is the driving force that unites all nature. Water is food, prosperity, energy, life. Yet today, too many people go without it, while others take it for granted. Care for water. Cultivate a sustainable future. Water is life. Water is food.
This year's World Food Day celebrates one of the planet's most precious resources, water. Water is essential to life and livelihood by reducing hunger and poverty and achieving all SDGs. The climate crisis, population growth, urbanization, industrialization, and socio-economic development are putting increasing pressure on water resources. Increased extreme weather events, drought and flooding are stressing our ecosystems with daunting consequences on global food security. Today, more than 1/3 of the world's population are still living without access to safe water. Smallholder farmers, particularly women, youth, indigenous peoples, migrants, and refugees are the most vulnerable. We must harness the power of the science, innovation, data, and technology to produce more with less, to make every drop count. All of us must consume and manage the water more efficiently. Agriculture is the largest consumer of the world's freshwater resources, accounting for 70% of the consumption. We must transform global ecosystems to be more efficient, inclusive, resilient, and sustainable to effectively address the water scarcity challenges we are facing. Dear friends, water scarcity is a global challenge that needs a global response. Flooding is a disaster that takes a few minutes to wash away everything. Water pollution is making the situation worse. On this World Food Day, I ask each and every one of us to renew our collective commitment, take the concrete actions to improve the situation. Ensuring global water security is fundamental to achieving 2030 agenda. Together, we can drive water action by transforming our ecosystems through the four betters: better production, better nutrition, a better environment, a better life, leaving no one behind. I thank you.
I am life. I sustain you. I nourish the earth, your food, your body. With me, you play, you pray, you thrive. But I am in danger. Alone, I cannot withstand threats from pollution, climate change, and overuse. With you, I am life.
L'eau, pour moi,
我是马颖，来自中国。
المياه بالنسبة لي
El agua para mí.
Water
to me is life.
Humans, animals, plants all depend on water.
Water to me, well, it's everything.
It's our food, our energy, and even the clothes that we wear.
Water to me is a scarce resource. We need to use new technologies for rational use and water conservation.
We need to recycle used water to reduce water scarcity.
Water is fundamental to grow and produce our food.
we need to produce more with less water.
Water to me is fun. I like to play and swim in the water.
Water to me means sustainability. It keeps life on our planet in balance.
We need to keep the water clean to have a healthy life.
Water to me is a human right.
In my region, people struggle to get water.
We need to distribute water evenly and make it accessible to everyone.
We need to preserve water for the life of our planet. We have to start now.
We will always need water.
Food heroes are water heroes. Food heroines are water heroines. On the occasion of World Food Day on 16th October, we take this opportunity to thank the food heroes and food heroines who are taking water action to manage water wisely while providing food for us now and in future, leaving no one behind. Few of the food heroes and heroines: Alessandro Vital, Spicy Moustache, Matthew Ward, Olivia Mandel, Angel Leon, Michael Haddad, chefs promoting millets, Fatmata Binta, Anita, Johnny and Max Mariela, Almas Tasbitro, Majnobe S. Kamra, Yutos Menarbu, Jose Augusto Lopez Zimbabwe, Vera Leshas, Karin Massam, and many more. The list is endless. Now, you can also take an action promoting safe water usage and keeping water safe and water conservation. Weaving threads of change, the fashion industry plays a crucial role in creating a more sustainable future by taking into account their entire supply chain and life cycle of our garments, while also ensuring decent working conditions for all people involved. Did you know that natural and organic fibers such as wool, cotton, silk, and linen tend to have a lower energy intensive production process compared to synthetic fibers like polyester or nylon? Synthetic materials such as polyester and acrylics tend to shed tiny pieces of plastic less than 5 mm in length when washed. These microfibers generally pass through the filtration process, making their way into our water systems, oceans, and eventually the food chain, and slowly also enters into our body and blood. So recent studies have shown that there are microfibers and microplastics found in our blood. So that's how, the clothes we wear, the food we eat, all are coming back to us. If we don't make conscious decisions, if we still prefer meat and meat products, if we still prefer these synthetic polyester and all these kind of shiny and, chemical-based clothings, the world suffers a lot, and more and more water gets polluted, and the more and more pollutants we also consume. So finally, we are paying back our karma for the sins we are committing. So let's take a conscious decision so that we are saving not only ourselves, but also the nature and also the planet. Companies need to invest into research and innovation to minimize microfiber releases. Every time you wash also your clothes, which are made of polyester, acrylic, and other synthetic fibers, every time you wash, every day you wash your clothes, microfibers are released into the water bodies through the drains, through the sewage, to the water bodies. So that's why always prefer natural cottons, like cotton clothes are always preferred, which is my first choice, and that too handmade or handloom. And even if it is a machine loom products, always prefer natural cotton clothes or wool clothes or anything that is naturally available, or silk or linen, which is available naturally. So companies can also minimize water consumption. Huge water is required for textile industry. And through that textile industry, a huge water which is being used are polluted and being sent back, treated and untreated, mostly untreated, back to the original water sources, which contaminate the entire water bodies and cause huge pollution. So companies can also minimize water consumption, for example, by finding safe ways to recycle wastewater or source sustainable natural fibers, such as cotton that require less water and pesticide to produce. As a consumer, look out for sustainable labels on clothing. You can purchase pre-loved clothing, thrift or mend and repair clothes rather than throw them away. Every time you are throwing your clothes, which can be repaired or which can be reused, you are contributing to the pollution and you are aggravating to the climate change. So always try to reuse instead of buying new products all the time. Extend your usage of your products, which you are procuring, which you are using to the maximum, so that new resources, natural or artificial, can be saved for future generations. Urban actions for a greener life. Explore. Urban areas can speak a shift towards greater sustainability that strengthens our communities and environment. cities that are less wasteful and better connected with the rural areas that sustain them with enough safe, nutritious food. Discover various ways how you can contribute to the sustainable development goals and take actions with the actions linked to the sustainable development goals take to make your city more inclusive, safe, green, and resilient. It's time to start managing water wisely. We need to produce more food and other essential agriculture commodities with less water. While ensuring water is distributed equally, our aquatic food systems are preserved and nobody is left behind. Governments need to design science and evidence-based policies that capitalize on data, innovation, and cross-sectorial coordination to better plan and manage water. These need to support these policies with increased investment, legislation, technologies, and capacity development, while incentivizing farmers and the private sector to engage in integrated solutions for a more efficient use of water and its conservation. So what you can do? We all need to stop talking or taking water for granted and start improving the way we use it in our daily lives. What we eat and how that food is produced all affect water. We can make a difference by choosing local, seasonal, and fresh foods, wasting less of it by reducing food waste and finding safe ways to reuse it while preserving water pollution. Together, we can take water action for the future of the food, people, and planet. Water as a livelihood covers 71% of the planet's surface, from oceans to lakes, rivers, and estuaries. Water bodies are home to flourishing ecosystems, hosting important habitats and a surprising wealth of biodiversity. Over 600 million people depend on aquatic food systems for a living, including small-scale fisheries, fish farmers, fish processors, as well as their dependents. They are the backbone of coastal and inland communities, supporting local economies and influencing cultures worldwide. Currently, we exploit almost 3,000 species in capture fisheries, and we cultivate over 650 of these species. The diversity of aquatic food systems make them a unique and essential source of nutrition and food security. Aquatic foods are increasingly recognized for their potential to combat malnutrition due to rich essential nutrients such as omega-3 fatty acids, vitamins, and minerals that are vital for the human health. Preserving and safeguarding these aquatic ecosystems and the species they support is not just a responsibility, but a necessity for the well-being of our planet and its inhabitants. Water is life, nourishing humanity from the ancient past to future. Water is finite, but it is infinitely valuable. Natural resource. Without it, there would be no food and no life. Centuries ago, the inventive nature of humankind spurred farmers to discover ways to irrigate crops, giving birth to agriculture and sedentary communities. This revolutionized how people produce food and gave rise to different civilizations around the world. It was not by chance that the first civilization in Mesopotamia and Egypt flourished around this precious resource by developing on the banks of rivers and on rich soils of food plains in the west. From the Tigris and Euphrates rivers that nurtured Sumerian, Assyrian, and Babylonian kingdoms, the Nile that fostered the kingdom of Egypt, to the Indus, Blue, and Yellow rivers in India and China, the cradles of civilization may be different, but their early beginnings all start with water. From antiquity to the present, communities have been directly influenced by the quantity and quality of water. In fact, to ensure an adequate supply of drinking water in the regions where they have settled, people developed innovative ways of treating and managing it. Today, irrigation may not seem exciting, but centuries ago, this method was one of the major inventions that transformed agriculture, especially in areas where climatic conditions were harsh and rainfall was rare. In ancient Greek and Chinese records, there is an evidence of another incredible technological milestone in our history, the discovery of desalination. This marked the capacity to collect drinkable water from salt water of the seas and ocean, allowing for a new source of water supply. Water was and still is essential for agriculture productivity, contributing significantly to food security. Making water safe and accessible to everyone, leaving no one behind, is still an issue that concerns us today. There are few places on earth where water is more accessible in adequate amounts to meet the needs of the people. The availability, absence, or scarcity of water has marked the whole history of mankind, and it contributes to be one of the most pressing concerns that people must confront today. As the world's population is expected to reach over 9 billion by 2050, it has never been more necessary to feed the world's growing population, healthy, equitably, and sustainable. There are several water concerns that we, a global community, face, such as water shortage, water pollution, and an uneven distribution of water resources. To address today's water challenges, we must ensure effective water usage in agri-food systems, find safe ways to reuse wastewater, safeguard our waters and aquatic food systems, and provide affordable, nutritious food for everyone in the face of the climate change and its increasing demand. Each challenge is connected, and we must face them together. New solutions to water shortage and security must be found through science and innovation, while also harnessing traditional knowledge. Partnerships and cooperation are also vital to guarantee access to safe water and, by extension, food security. Everyone has a role to play. Water connects us. It is our shared history, present, and future. Food is seen as a basic human right. We need food to live, and yet 1 in 9 people globally experience chronic hunger. As far back as 1945, the United Nations recognized food as not a privilege, but a right. And that's why they created World Food Day, observed annually on October 16th in 1979. It's a day of observance to draw attention to the plight of hungry. So join us today in eradicating hunger. In the United States, it's estimated 1 in 7 people rely on food banks as their primary or supplementary food source. Many of these are working families who suffer from underemployment and cannot afford the groceries needed to help their family live healthily. The top requested items for food banks are healthy, non-perishable items, high in protein, such as canned or dry beans, peanut butter, rolled oats, low sodium soups, and vegetables, and tuna canned in water. Support small-scale farms. 98% of the farms in the world are family farms. They usually practice sustainable agriculture with plants that are indigenous to the area, rotating crops and limited use of pesticides. Sadly, many family farmers are unable to produce the variety of crops needed for their own survival, and without support can suffer from malnutrition themselves. On World Food Day, shop locally and support local farmers. Raise money to end hunger. On World Food Day, there are typically a number of food drives. If you don't know of a local food drive, organize one yourself and donate the food to the local food drive. Globally, there are hunger walks, World Food Day dinners of food packaging rallies. Get involved and let's end world hunger. World Food Day is important. It helps raise this awareness. Millions and millions of people suffer the health consequences of malnourishment, which damages growing bodies and brains. That's why it is important to draw attention to his health crisis, and by doing so, ensure food security and availability of nutritious foods to everyone on the planet. It's a reminder hunger can be ended. Our planet currently produces enough food to feed every person on the flight. It's a reminder hunger can be ended. Our planet currently produces enough food to feed every person on the planet. However, 1.3 billion tons of food is lost or wasted annually. That's roughly 20% of the food produced. World Food Day acts as an impetus to get involved, reduce food wastage, and help provide sustenance for millions. It brings attention to eating mindfully. Food is a great source of pleasure and entertainment, but sometimes we overindulge. If we return to focus of eating mindfully, we can reduce the amount of food that's wasted and the number of people going to bed hungry. World Food Day serves as a reminder to refrain from overeating and to make choices that are ecologically sustainable. Today, we are also commemorating World Allergy Awareness Day. Can't do without an antihistamine during hay fever season. This day is for you. Maybe you are popping a pill every time your nose runs or skin breaks out. If that sounds like you, today is as good a day as any to stop. Let's ditch the urge to over-medicate and understand our allergies instead. Each one, even a rash, is a complex with different triggers. And of course, treatment. One pill won't and can't cure all of it. Only a doctor can. So remember to visit your health care provider today. First things first. What is an allergy? In modern terms, an allergy signals hypersensitivity to immune system. We experience allergies when our immune system reacts to certain things in our immediate environment. These substances are otherwise harmless to the average person, but someone with a sensitive immune system can have a widely different reaction to them. The body treats these substances as invasive foreign particles from rain, usually, allergies show up as skin flare-ups or difficulty in breathing. Most of us are allergic to something, only the severity different. Doctors recommend we do not ignore allergy, no matter how minor it seems. What's the next worst thing? Self-medication. Popping an anti-allergen is a temporary fix. When we repeatedly self-medicate, we risk the problem getting worse. Sometimes it can be life-threatening. Allergy during the first few stages is easily treatable by a doctor in an attempt to avoid doctor visits. Many people treat allergies on their own, which then becomes severe. The result, exorbitant treatments or even emergency surgery. For perspective, there are several hundred types of allergies. Each one has a different triggers and separate medication. Taking generic anti-allergens isn't effective at all. World Allergy Awareness Day hopes to raise awareness and change mindsets. Trace your activities. For perspective, there are several hundred types of allergies. Each one has different triggers and separate medication. And taking generic anti-allergens isn't effective at all. Trace your activities and note where you were or what you were doing and what you have touched or ate. Once done, seek medical treatment to get an allergy test done. You'll be surprised at how much detail these tests can uncover, from the nut and dairy allergies to things around your house. Dr. Oscar Manderson Strauss publishes the first scientific report on food allergies in 1800s, hay fever and summer colds. Dr. John Bostock presents clinical descriptions of hay fever for the first time in 1819. Dr. Clemens von Pürget introduces the concept of allergies after noticing severe reactions to smallpox vaccines in 1906. Researchers discover aquagenic urticaria, a rare allergy where the skin breaks out into hives and bumps when exposed to water. Water allergies in 1960. Explain the names of foods that can make them sick. Use games or other educational resources to make it engaging. Finally, teach them how to eat food and only given by the trusted adults. Stop when you feel the urge to self-medicate. Visit your doctor instead. Take an allergy test. Allergy testing can identify various allergens in our food and environments. A healthcare provider will use a skin prick or a blood test to check for reactions. Peanut allergies affect 3 million people in the United States, as common as flu. Most adults will have a peanut allergy for life. Severe peanut allergies cause anaphylaxis or trouble breathing that can result in shock. Immunotherapy by a doctor helps, by Chad Manning. Oral immunotherapy involves feeding bits of preunit protein to help patients build tolerance. Double check your landscaping or composting products since they contain peanut hulls. Don't walk on grass. Oral immunotherapy involves feeding these bits and peanuts protein to help parents and to build intolerance. Most of us ignore that our bodies are trying to tell us. World Allergy Awareness Day reminds us to pay attention. Knowing what to avoid can increase our quality of life. Finally, we have book Allergies don't usually rank high on the list of medical priorities. We'll learn how ignoring symptoms can impact our health in the long run and why we must submit our project or thesis, whatever. Every year, a creative Panni theme is selected to focus on the discussions and events of the day. The theme of the first World Spine Day, celebrated in 2012, was Straighten Up and Move. In 2017, the theme of in 2017, the Federation of Chiropractic chose Your Back in Action as the theme of year's events. In 2018, it was Love Your Spine. In 2013, there was a game Get Spiro Active. In 2020, it was Back on Track. World Spine Day aims to raise awareness about special health and spine disorders among all involved in stakeholders, providing a forum for ongoing circulation, discussion. So today we are commemorating World Spine Day, and it aims to raise awareness about the spinal health and spine disorders among all involved stakeholders, provide a forum for ongoing discussions about the burden of spinal disorders, and promote an interdisciplinary collaborative approach to easing the burden of spinal disorders. This is especially important because millions of people around the world often have little awareness or access to conventional healthcare resources to help them take care of spinal pain and disability. The WFC initiates the World Spine Day. The World Federation of Chiropractic comes up with the idea that coordinates events in 2008. The first official World Spine Day is held on October 2012. This particular day, World Spine Day, encourages people to strengthen up and move carefully. The WFC celebrates Your Back in Action. The theme is center-based about mindful lifting, healthy activities, and posture. In October 2017, and WFC celebrates Back on Track. The theme events is highlight need to go back to the back health after the events of the year. on Joint Action Decade Action Week is a global awareness event held between October 12th and 20th every year. It involves many events and special days, including World Spine Day. The other days include World Arthritis Day, World Trauma Day, World Pediatric Bone and Joint Day, and World Osteoporosis Day. While there is no chiropractic day, there is National Chiropractic Month, which occurs in October every year. This month is also observed by chiropractors in the United States. So exercise is important no matter what day it is, but on the World Spine Day, you can engage in exercises that improve your back and neck health, like yoga, bike riding, or just a fun run. You can work out on your own, find an event near you, or organize your own yoga class so that other people enjoy the benefits of the day. And World Spine Day, there are hundreds of health fairs and workshops all over the world teaching about spine health, what to do and what not to do. Take this opportunity to learn more about your body and how you can trust in better attending any of these World Spine Day events. If you are a healthcare professional, World Spine Day is the best day for you to raise awareness to everyone around who are talking or taking care of me. It's flexible. The spine has got over 120 muscles in it, and that's why it's so flexible. Your spine can actually bend far enough back to make 2/3 of a circle. Your spine remembers. The spine has an excellent memory and will remember and get used to your posture. This is why it is so hard to break out bad posture habits. The spine can hold hundreds of kilograms of weight. Talk about weightlifting, it's strong. We are not so different from giraffes. It's true, humans and giraffes have the same amount of vertebrae in their necks. That explains why necks can be flexible sometimes, especially when it comes to stretching. The spine is actually the very first bone we grow, while in womb, baby spines start forming 2 months later after the baby is conceived. When so many people around the world stand a chance of experiencing back and spine pain, it's no-brainer that we need to be more aware of and educated about it. The fact that the special holiday exists to raise awareness for this already highlighted importance to the people who would otherwise ignore their spine pain. Back pain is underrated. Too many people pay little or no attention when they feel pain in the back. Many people attempt to walk off the pain. It aids early prevention and diagnosis. In many World Spine Day events, people get to enjoy free access to healthcare professionals who can catch their symptoms early before they become disabilities. Hundreds of people have discovered that they were on the bank of disability by getting a check at the World's Spine Day event. Today is also commemorated as World Global Cat Day in US. Global Cat Day, which takes place on 16th, reminds us that the educating, engaging, and empowering people to defend and protect cats is the right thing to do. They say dogs are man's best friend. Perhaps it is very likely cats are tied up for the first place in the informal and unscientific best friend category. Global Cat Day confirms one thing. We have our loved cat since the beginning of time or close to it. In fact, the ancient Egyptians were first civilization and to harness an advocacy group known as Ellie Cat Ellies, along with millions of supporters, will observe Global Cat Day with a commitment to save cats from being killed. The Global Cat Day pledge includes the fundamental principle that all cats have the right to live their lives, and it guides everything we do to protect cats, says Alice founder. And the organization, which promotes humane treatment of all cats, reports that millions of cats and kittens are in life-threatening danger. That's because the felines are killed more than any other animal in shelters across the nation. TNR is a mainstream approach in which cats are humanely trapped, spayed or neutered, vaccinated, ear-tipped, and returned to the outdoor homes where they live and thrive. As a sound public policy, it should help out. When it comes to cat advocacy, Bobo Barker was right. One of the best things we can do is to spay or neuter our cats and to encourage others to do the same. Not only does this reduce the number of so-called nuisance cats, it can also protect them from certain diseases and to prevent organize your event in honor of Global Cat Day. Consider organizing your own event and then registering that event. And you can host workshops, cat food drives, or any other things which can help the cause. The worldwide cat population exceeds 500 million. Cats can drink salt water called Cat kidneys are able to filter out salt from water and use the desalinated water for hydration. In North America, cats are the most popular pets. According to some estimates, there are 73 million cats in that region compared to 63 million dogs. So cats are our best friends too. And in Global Cat Day can remind us the local laws and ordinance that has profound impacts on how the local cat population is treated. And once that person is armed, today, starting from today, we are commemorating Design Conscious Week. In Philippines, every year, the Republic of Philippines celebrates Design Conscious Week during the third week of October as proud cultural heritage. The festival this year will take from October 16 to 22. The Design Center of the Philippines organizes the week to celebrate the creativity and quality of design in the Philippines, as well as the country's road to being one of the world's top exporters of quality designs. This week usually includes design sessions and panel talks about the ways to enhance various aspects of the design ecosystem. The event has rapidly grown in popularity among designers. Since 2011, many people have been looking forward to Design Consciousness Week held in the Philippines. Its genuine and organic approach to making design accessible and building a creative community that welcomes everyone, along with its warm, fun, and punchy vibe, have made it an important part of the Philippine design culture. Design Conscious Week not only celebrates a new milestone for Philippines design, but the week also highlights the role of design as a tool for making impact-driven connections within the design ecosystem. On the 10th anniversary of the Philippines' biggest design event, a brand new design infrastructure was unveiled. Its purpose was to find out ways for countries' design exports to help the economy. The event took place in October 2011, and it included masterclasses from influential design thinkers who helped make the new design framework. At the end event, there was also a virtual workshop and a multimedia show where many talented artists showed off their amazing creativity and skill. So this week-long celebration has also grown to include creative spaces for kids to use after school. These spaces show kids how to use modern art tools and encourage them to be creative. During the Philippines Design Week, there are also performances by artists who use different styles of art, with technology making it easier to connect with people all over the world. The week is a great chance for designers to work together on new ideas for the future. Designs include problem solving and creativity. A design may be mere plan that does not include a production or engineering process, although a working knowledge of such processes is usually expected of designs. The 4 types of design include business, enterprise, product, and execution design. Good design serves a purpose, communicates a message, aesthetically pleasing at the same time. Today is also commemorated as National Adoption Week from today till October 22, 16 to 22. The objective of this week is to improve level of awareness about adoption. This is done through several different lenses, from adoptees to adoptive parents. They talk about being adopted, adopting, and how it all feels. The awareness campaign, in turn, aims to find homes for children awaiting adoption. Through the course of the week, supported by the Department of Education, organizations working for the adoption of children bust adoption-related myths. While different from adoption practice today, forms of adoption have been around for a nearly long time. The Code of Hammurabi, written between 1755 BC to 1750 BC, mentions the rights of adopters and the responsibilities of adoptees in detail in the West. Furthermore, adoption in ancient Rome was reasonably common and also is mentioned in Codex Justinianus. These adoption practices, however, were more focused on serving political and economic interest. Abandoned children were often picked up for slavery. Sometimes they would be taken in by families and raised as wards. By Middle Ages, there was immense importance given to bloodlines. Power and property could only be passed to natural born heirs. In many European countries, adoption wasn't even allowed or was made extremely difficult because it stood as a contradiction to the laws of inheritance. Eventually, abandoned children were treated as oblates and thus required to live in monasteries. This ultimately led to institutional care for orphans. After the American Civil War, American orphans were moved to the eastern part of the country and indentured. The progressive movement led to American President Theodore Roosevelt proclaiming that the nuclear family was to be the primary caretaker of an orphanage and abandoned children in 1909. The American model of adoption eventually made its way to the United Kingdom, and the UK passed its first adoption law in 1926. Adoption is now international. An adopted child can be referred to as an adoptee. In the United States, at least, girls tend to be adopted more. Orphanages are rare now. They have been replaced by foster systems. Being aware of the adoption as a practice is only possible if you know the laws surrounding the practice. So read upon them. The aim of National Adoption Week is to raise awareness, help the cause by talking about it on social media. If it isn't within your means, donate to and volunteer at an organization that works to get children adopted. Before baby formula was invented in 1920s, most adoptees were older children. About 40% of the children in the US foster system age out before they are adopted. The number of orphans globally is more than the populations of the UK and France combined. About 7 million Americans are adopted individuals. The majority of adoptions takes place because of infertility, which is the biggest reason of adoption. The practice of adoption has a long, often sad history. National Adoption Week is a perfect opportunity to learn about it. It's an excuse to learn about history. It raises awareness about adoption. There are many misconceptions about adoption. National Adoption Week serves a purpose in dispelling. There are many issues with the current adoption system. National Adoption Week points them out and pushes for change. This week is also commemorated as National Health Education Week in US from October 16 to 20. It promotes health education and role it plays in keeping us strong. The Society of Public Health Education co-sponsors the week along with the US Department of Health and Human Services. This week is also commemorated as National Parenting Week. in UK from October 16 to 20 that highlights just how important parent skills are in society. It is because it's important. The way a child is raised has a deep impact on his or her personality, the way they view life, and how their personalities turn out to be when they grow up. Hence, attaining the perfect parenting skills is not a piece of cake, since it includes a perfect mix of confidence, love, emotional connection, trust, as well as other aspects that contribute to forming one's personality. Many developed nations across the globe are extremely particular about parenting skills. This is because over time, governments have realized that a child raised in a healthy atmosphere will be beneficial according to the society, while children raised in homes where violence exists may become violent themselves or suffer from severe depression. Child Protective Service were formed in many nations to ensure parents follow the required methods of raising children. These government organizations aim to ensure children are nurtured and raised right. However, children were not always raised like they are today, nor was attention placed on their emotional and social development. This points out the obvious fact that parenting skills have evolved based on the development of society and research. Today is also commemorated as this week as Pharmacy Week in US, which is observed in third full week of October and recognize the invaluable contributions of pharmacists and technicians make to patient care. This year it takes place from October 16 to 22. Pharmacists provide an essential service by connecting the needs of patients to the pharmaceutical industry. Without pharmacists and pharmacies, medical attention and support would be non-existent and many people would succumb to their illness. This week is also commemorated as Risk Awareness Week in US from October 16 to 20. It's held online by a team of risk experts to educate non-risk professionals and communities about potential risks and the necessary measures employed to manage them. This year, there is an impressive lineup of risk management speakers and experts that come together to share different findings and students on decision-making, risk management, planning, and project management. They hope to shed light on non-risk professionals, interested participants through a series of engaging workshops and presentations. This week is also commemorated as UK Coffee Week in United Kingdom from October 16 to 22. It's a week dedicated to learning more about coffee industry and the people who cultivate it. Hundreds of coffee shops, restaurant roasters, and their customers get together this week to raise funds for the Project Waterfall, working to end the water crisis faced by coffee growing communities worldwide. Donations come from every cup served and every coffee bag sold. Running competitions, raffles, and other fundraisers also contribute to the worthy cause. Over 8 lakh pounds has been raised since 2011, funding 13 projects and changing more than 45,000 lives in Ethiopia, Kenya, Nicaragua, Tanzania, and Uganda. Today is also commemorated as the Day of the Races in Colombia. It is also called El Día de la Raza. Why de la Hispanidad? Meaning Day of the Race, it commemorates the first contact between Europeans and Native Americans. On this day, Italian navigator Christopher Columbus first set foot in the Americas. It is a day to highlight the encounter of two worlds as well as reflect on the richness and racial diversity this brought to the culture. Today is also commemorated as Dictionary Day in US, celebrates the birth of Noah Webster, an American writer who was born in 1758. Webster is best known for publishing the first dictionary in 1806, which he continued to compile and expand for next 27 years. When his dictionary was published in 1828, it was a formidable resource packed with useful words and spelling updates. Webster was a true pioneer for creating the reference book we use so ubiquitously. We are celebrating him today. Today is also commemorated as Heroes and Forefathers Day in British Virgin Islands and is subsequently held third Monday on October. In line with the British Virgin Islands move to better promote its culture, heritage, and history, this holiday replaces St. Ursula's Day. Men and women who built the Virgin Islands are recognized for their outstanding contributions. It honors pioneers and community servants from different sectors, such as agriculture and fisheries, boat building, business, health, politics, public administration, the arts, and religion. Today is also commemorated as National Boss Day, a chance to celebrate the people who keep us gainfully employed. Boss has been used as a slang to describe something cool or excellent. So if you are blessed with a great boss, you could call them boss. Whatever you call them, do a little something for your boss in your life. Today is also commemorated as National Department Store Day in US. It's celebrated every year on October 16th, honors the significance and impact of department stores in the country. Department stores are commercial retail establishments that sell to customers directly. Unlike normal retail outlets, department stores classify and display a broad array of products as per department. For example, a department store will have separate sections or departments dedicated to fashion, furniture, appliances, foodstuffs, and so on. These stores support American economy. Today is also commemorated as National Feral Cat Day in US. This day is to celebrate cats of all stripes. No matter where they call home, feral cats have been stigmatized the world over. But thanks to this holiday, we can change how we see these lovable nomads. Today, we are also commemorating National Heroes Day of Jamaica in Jamaica, which takes place every third Monday of October. Honors some of the greatest names of the nation. This year, it takes place on October 16th, and every country has extraordinary citizens who stand out as an inspiration. And Jamaica has 7 such names that serve as ideals for the youth. Even today, this includes scholars, businessmen, leaders, and other individuals that aided in the progress and the freedom of Jamaica. And finally, thank you everyone for joining us. See you all tomorrow at the same time. The overall feedback form has been raised in the form of polls. We request everyone to fill the feedback form before you leave the platform. All the certificates will be issued at once, so no need to worry about the certificates. Keep attending daily. Whenever they are available, we will let you know. You can download it from the website. So the recent event certificates have been issued, updated on website. That is World Mental Health Day on October 10th, and also Indian Social Work Day on October 11th. Both the speakers and participant certificates have been updated on the website. You can download your certificates. Those who have not completed the formalities are requested to complete the formalities at the earliest. Those who are completing formalities after the issue of certificates and their updation on the website need to place your request through certificate request format, after which certificates will be generated and updated. Because of limited time and resources, it will take some time for us to update the certificates on the website. Those who complete formalities after updation of certificates, or those who are not completing formalities in time. So kindly make note of it. And those who are attending, kindly register yourself, attend, provide feedback, so that you'll become eligible to download your certificates from the website. So thank you everyone once again for joining us. See you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.